So, is there, reflecting back on the program so far, has there been anything that has been either a disappointment or just not met expectations in one way or another?
I guess probably my biggest disappointment is that I think that some of the structure of the curriculum could perhaps be improved so that it facilitates and supports the learning process a little bit better. Mm-hmm. What I specifically mean by that is that you come into business school, you're totally inundated by all this craziness, and to be honest, you don't have time to learn everything. Mm-hmm. Like that's just how it goes. Mm-hmm. You would go insane if you tried to. Mm-hmm. So you have to trade off responsibilities with your study group, take certain elements of a project, and as a result, I didn't feel like I got as much out of some of my courses as I could have. Mm-hmm. So perhaps offering the opportunity to supplement those courses with, additional sort of learning opportunities before the semester starts, or maybe follow-on courses offered the second semester. Mm-hmm. I also think that they could have restructured a couple of the soft skill courses like organizational behavior and leadership, so that those were either combined or sort of at a different point in the year, that we had more practice and an ability to actually put our leadership skills to use. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. And that actually is something that I've heard amongst several people, is the curriculum, while strong in many facets, could be tweaked in certain ways to make it much more effective. Mm-hmm. And it seems like it's, at least here at Haas, and it sounds like at other schools as well, it's sort of something that is a continual work in progress.
Yeah, I mean, I think Haas is taking creative approaches to it. Interestingly enough, Yale actually has a super innovative approach to their curriculum. I don't know if you've heard about how they structure their core, but I just remembering from the application process, one thing that I was really impressed by was that they were the only school to really do this. Rather than structure the core courses by discipline, finance, accounting, etc., they structured it by sort of stakeholder group within the professional environment. So you had core courses that were centered around the consumer and core courses that were centered around the manufacturer, for example. And so they were run, and you had elements of finance or elements of marketing in whichever sort of stream made the most sense. But it seemed like they allowed students to get sort of the full spectrum of the business management process versus finance skills. I think it perhaps allowed them to apply it in a little bit more effective way. That takes it to a whole nother extreme, right? Where they're turning their curriculum upside down. Yeah. I don't think that you need to do that to have an effective core selection of classes, and I think Haas does a pretty damn good job. But they could make a couple of tweaks to get there even more, right?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Okay, and so now maybe looking forward to the rest of your time here at Haas, is there anything that at this point you're looking to get out of the remaining 3/4 of a year that you have left?
I think now it's being able to take entirely electives is a really exciting opportunity, because I feel like my semester now, upcoming in spring, is going to be entirely my semester, right? It's exactly what I want to take. I can take classes outside of the business school. I can, take only the classes at Haas that I'm really passionate and interested in, and then also have free time to pursue other interests, be them recreational and just travel, etc., just to enjoy this free time that we so rarely have in our lives, but also potentially professionally, and using that time for an additional consulting opportunity or contract opportunity. So that's sort of TBD at the moment, but hopefully something will come out of that for next semester. And then at the end of school, when we finally graduate and move on, I I'll have the opportunity to travel for 3 months before I formally start my new position, and so I'm definitely planning on taking advantage of that and seeing as much of the world as I can.
So you mentioned your new position. Can you talk a little bit about what you'll be doing post-house?
So this summer I interned at ZS Associates, which is a management consulting firm. They tend to focus more on biopharma clients, life sciences clients, and I will be going back there full time after graduating as a consultant. So that's pretty cool for me because long term wanting to go into healthcare strategy, I guess for me the consulting industry is a great jumping off point for that. It sort of helps to form the foundation of skills where you get an exposure to a wide variety of clients. You get a lot of hard skills that are applicable in any career. And I think you gain the respect of the clients that you serve and could potentially use that for a professional opportunity down the road.
Mm-hmm. And so you briefly touched upon it, around what you want for yourself after Haas. You mentioned healthcare strategy. Do you have a vision for yourself for your career or life, let's say 3 to 5 years from now?
Yeah, I'm going to be rich and, working 3 days a week. No.
That's a good vision. I like that.
Right. Well, so one of the key parts of my long-term vision is a personal life. I definitely, family hopefully is in my future, and that's definitely one thing that I'm thinking about. So when I think about my career progression, I have to take that into consideration. Consulting lifestyle is not necessarily, it can be sustained if you want a family, but it's difficult to. And so I'm going to have to make that decision at a certain point of whether or not I want to continue that or go into industry and potentially have a better work-life balance. That's probably what I'm going to do. So what I'd like to do is, within 2 to 3 years post-graduation, transition to an industry role that has me focusing on strategy in the private sector of healthcare, and then be able to have, a family and, pursue other interests and that kind of thing. And then just kind of see where it goes. I'm not, I recognize that, your first job out of Haas is not your last job out of Haas. I don't want it to be. So, if it means getting into more of a managerial role within a specific division, product management, corporate development, etc., totally open to that. I think it just is going to depend on what I'm excited by after graduating.
Okay, great. And I think we're out of time, so thank you very much.
You're welcome. This is a pleasure.